Cristiano Ronaldo's move to Juventus was confirmed on Tuesday, leading the football world to wonder who, if anybody, could replace the Portuguese superstar and reigning World Player of the Year at Real Madrid. Here, I present 5 of the biggest names linked with a move to the Spanish capital this summer and give my opinion on which seem the most likely. First up, Eden Hazard. Rumours linking Hazard with a move to the Spanish capital have become an annual tradition. He's long established himself as one of the Premier League's best performers, and the Premier League happens to be a league that Real Madrid enjoy going shopping in. Think Gareth Bale, Luka Modric, and of course, the man himself, Cristiano Ronaldo. While he's usually batted away any interest, insisting he's happy in West London, the fact that Chelsea have failed to qualify for the Champions League, added to the managerial uncertainty at Stamford Bridge, may weigh heavy on any decisions he makes this summer. At 27, Hazard is in his prime right now, and positionally the ideal replacement for Cristiano Ronaldo, a wide forward who likes to cut inside and pull the trigger, and create havoc in the opposition area with some direct running. The downside is, Hazard is unlikely to replace the Portuguese superstar in terms of goals. In his worst ever season, Cristiano Ronaldo scored 26 goals, and in his best, 48 in just 35 games. Incredible. Hazard has never scored more than the 16 goals he managed in the 2016-17 season, but who's to say with the likes of Toni Kroos and Luka Modric feeding him that he couldn't score more? The fact that Chelsea can no longer offer the safety net of Champions League football would have me worried if I were a Chelsea fan. I can see this one happening. Next up, Harry Kane. You don't score the number of goals Harry Kane has been scoring without turning a few heads. Since bursting onto the scene in 2014, the Hurricane has managed 140 goals in just 213 games for Tottenham Hotspur. In 2017, Harry Kane scored more calendar year goals than any player in Premier League history, and at 24 is still a long way off hitting his prime. While not exactly a like-for-like replacement, Kane could step into the role of target man, using his physical presence and intelligence to hold off defenders and bring teammates into play. In that sense, he'd be more of a long-term replacement for Karim Benzema. But if that were to happen, Gareth Bale, the hero of the 2018 Champions League final, could be given license to replace Ronaldo on the left. Kane is currently the top scorer in Russia, his 6 goals dragging England to a first World Cup semi-final in 28 years. The downside? Tottenham are notoriously hard to do business with thanks to the fierce negotiation skills of their chairman, Daniel Levy. It doesn't help that Kane also just signed a fresh 5-year deal, making him one of the top earners at Spurs. For these reasons, I think Harry Kane moving to Real Madrid this summer is highly unlikely, but I wouldn't rule it out in the future. Robert Lewandowski. The big Polish striker has been in that bracket of players just below Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi for years now, thanks to his stellar performances in the Bundesliga for Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. He's reportedly unhappy with life in Bavaria, however, and is seeking a big money move abroad. His record speaks for itself, with 151 goals in 195 Bayern Munich appearances. He's also a serial winner, having picked up 8 major titles in 8 years in Germany. One thing still missing from Lewandowski's trophy cabinet is a European Cup winners medal, and what better place to get one than the Spanish capital? Real have won the last 3 European Cups on the bounce and are the record winners in the competition with 13 victories. The downside is that at 29, Lewandowski is hardly a long-term replacement for anyone, and he wouldn't come cheap, with Bayern saying that he's not for sale at any price. A deal would also hinge on Bayern finding a replacement. For that reason, I believe a move to the Premier League is more likely, where clubs are so awash with cash that they'd be more willing to pay over the odds for a player approaching 30. Next up, you guessed it, Neymar. This one almost seems written. While some players would wilt under the spotlight of playing for a club like Real Madrid, Neymar is a man who can't get enough of the spotlight. The fact that Neymar's also played for Barcelona, Real Madrid's most hated rivals, would surely only make a deal more attractive for a player fans love to hate. Neymar left the Catalan club in 2017 in order to step out from beneath Lionel Messi's shadow. His time in Paris hasn't been smooth, however, with teammates annoyed by his selfish antics. Just ask Edinson Cavani. He wouldn't come cheap though. PSG paid an eye-watering £200 million in order to bring him from Barcelona in 2017, and it would take an offer in the same sort of area to bring him back to Spain. Still, I'm throwing it out there, this one is going to happen. Last but by no means least, Kylian Mbappe, another PSG forward and another player enjoying a phenomenal World Cup. Kylian Mbappe is still just 19 years old, but his pace, trickery and finishing already make him one of the most feared strikers on the planet. Since bursting onto the scene with Monaco just 2 years ago, Mbappe has banged in 48 goals in 104 appearances in the French league, become a regular starter for his country, and secured a £162 million move to French champions PSG. Real may have missed out on his signature 12 months ago, but they're said to be huge admirers of the 19-year-old, and his habit of cutting in from wide positions to score stunning goals would make him the perfect replacement for CR7. He still may have a long way to go to reach the Portuguese's level, but there's no doubt that he's a future Ballon d'Or winner, and there's no telling just how good Mbappe could be. A stumbling block could be that Mbappe only recently moved to the French capital, and the transfer fee would be huge. If £162 million seemed like a lot of money 12 months ago, imagine what he's worth now. Eventually, all of the world's greatest players feel the attraction of La Liga, and I'm certain it won't be long before we see Kylian Mbappe in the all-white strip of Real Madrid. For now, however, I think he'll stay in the French capital and keep learning his trade, particularly if Neymar leaves this summer. So there we have it, 5 of the biggest names in football being touted as Ronaldo's replacement at Real Madrid. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions and tell me who I've missed out.